What is up? YouTube, how y'all doing, man? Check this out. 9 beloved Cosby Show actors who tragically passed away. I was looking at this. I was looking at some of this, and there's a lot of things I didn't know about the Cosby Show. The Cosby Show was one of the most family loved, and Malcolm, man, golly, I can't believe this happened. And I'm begging, I'm hoping, and I'm praying that nobody trying to tie his passing along with this Diddy crap or this Jay-Z bull, or even rest in peace to Angie Stones and all this he say, she say bull. Just let the man rest, man. That's what I bet. That's what I pray for. That's what I pray for. I pray for nobody starting anything, and somebody sent me a video and I refuse to look at it. I refuse to look at it. And then I did look at it. Then I looked at it, and it was a beautiful video. So I did a reaction to it. So one of the things I do know is that brother, nobody said nothing bad about him, man. I mean, he wasn't even trying to be funny. He wasn't even he wanted to act, and he did what he was told to do. Higgle my lines. I'm gonna do the best I can. He seemed like a brother that wouldn't get on your nerves. Every time I look, somebody want to get on my nerves. So hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that bell. Let's get into this video, man. How y'all doing? Y'all doing okay? I'm hoping everybody doing okay. I'm hoping everybody is trying to help somebody. That's all I want in this world, man. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy out.
The Cosby Show captured audiences' hearts with its warm family moments, taking us back to the golden age of American television. But behind those radiant smiles, many of the cast members passed away with chilling secrets and tragic fates you may never have imagined. Let's dive into the story of this unforgettable cast and honor the legacies they left behind. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. Clarice Taylor as Anna Huxtable.
Okay.
Clarice Taylor was born on September 20th, 1917, in Buckingham, Virginia. She became widely recognized when she played Anna Huxtable, the mother of lead character Cliff Huxtable in The Cosby Show, when she was 68 years old. With her gentle presence and warm, deep voice, she perfectly portrayed the image of a traditional elderly mother, leaving a strong impression on viewers and earning an Emmy nomination in 1986 for her performance. However, behind the television spotlight, Clarice's life was marked by turmoil, contradictions, and loneliness. She entered the industry at a time when opportunities for people of color were extremely limited, and she had to work at the post office for years just to make ends meet. Even after achieving fame, Clarice carried with her a perfectionist nature that many viewed as temperamental and difficult. During rehearsals, she once scolded a fellow actor so harshly that she was banned from performing at a major theater in New York. Even on The Cosby Show, where audiences loved her the most, Clarice faced significant backstage tension. Some crew members believed she was too old-fashioned and not in sync with the show's modern vibe. Her first season nearly became her last after rumors spread that producers were considering recasting her role due to differences in how she approached her character and interacted off-screen. Though she continued appearing in later episodes, her relationship with the production team never truly healed. In her personal life, Clarice chose to remain single and adopted 2 sons. Sadly, her final years were marked by isolation. Long-standing legal disputes over her estate and inheritance caused estrangement from her own family.
Damn.
Some close sources revealed she often suffered from insomnia and depression, feeling betrayed by the very family she had built. Many colleagues also criticized her for being envious of younger actresses. Clarice Taylor passed away on May 30th, 2011, in Englewood, New Jersey, at the age of 93. After battling congestive heart failure. At the time of her passing, she left behind an estate worth approximately $3 million, largely earned through royalties and decades of quiet dedication to the arts. Earl Hyman as Russell Huxtable. Earl Hyman was born on October 11, 1926, in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. When he was 58 years old, he took on the role of Russell Huxtable, the stern yet loving father of Cliff Huxtable in the hit show The Cosby Show. With a calm and dignified demeanor, he portrayed the archetypal family patriarch, adding depth to the generational dynamics of the Huxtable family. His performance earned him a prestigious Emmy nomination in 1986. But in stark contrast to his respected image on screen, Hyman's real life was filled with silent pain and unspoken truths. Born during an era of harsh racial segregation, he grew up in Brooklyn and pursued acting from a young age. Despite his exceptional talent and acclaimed performances as Othello, Macbeth, and other Shakespearean roles on Broadway and in London, he always felt boxed in by Hollywood because of his race and background.
Of course.
What hurt most was the private life Hyman kept hidden nearly his entire life. He lived with Rolf Sørnes, a Norwegian seaman, for over 50 years, but never publicly acknowledged their relationship. In personal letters released after his death, Hyman referred to Sørnes as my passionate life partner, but he never spoke openly about it while alive, fearing it would destroy his career in a world not yet ready to accept such differences. This long concealment led to periods of depression, self-isolation, and a near-total withdrawal from the media. He refused interviews and rarely appeared in public without a script.
Wow, young, I would have never even would have thought, even though it shouldn't have mattered anyway, it shouldn't, but the thought of that never crossed my mind that he was, anyway, golly.
Depression, self-isolation, and a near-total withdrawal from the media. He refused interviews and rarely appeared in public without a script. Despite his reclusive nature, Hyman remained devoted to the arts. Beyond The Cosby Show, he was also known for voicing Panthro in Thundercats and was honored in Norway with the Order of St. Olav for his contributions to theater. He passed away on November 17, 2017, at the Lillian Booth Actors Home in New Jersey, having lived a full 91 years. His estate was worth around $5 million, primarily from his film, stage, and literary works, preserved in the Earl Hyman collection at the Folger Shakespeare Library. Michelle Thomas as Justine Phillips. Michelle Doris Thomas was born on September 23, 1968, in Brookline, Massachusetts. When she was 20 years old, she appeared in The Cosby Show as Justine Phillips, Theo Huxtable's sweet and idealistic girlfriend who poured her heart into her first love. The role quickly endeared her to viewers and paved the way for her later performance as Myra Monkhouse in Family Matters. But this wholesome image eventually became a cage for her career. In the unforgiving environment of Hollywood, Michelle was constantly pressured to maintain an unrealistically perfect figure. It was said she once broke down in tears after an audition, simply because she was told to lose 3 more pounds, even though she was already extremely thin. On top of that, her real-life relationship with Malcolm Jamal Warner, the actor who played Theo, was far from the picture-perfect romance seen on screen. They were deeply in love, but had a tumultuous breakup, marred by jealousy and conflict, which left Michelle emotionally vulnerable. Close friends revealed that she once had a panic attack from feeling completely out of control of her personal life. The real tragedy struck in 1997 when Michelle was diagnosed with a rare abdominal cancer called desmoplastic small round cell tumor. As time passed, the illness progressed silently. In despair, Michelle kept her condition hidden from the public, confiding only in a few trusted individuals. She declined some conventional treatments, allegedly swayed by family and friends who advocated for natural healing methods that proved ineffective. These decisions tragically worsened her condition. By October 1998, Michelle had to leave her role on The Young and the Restless and was hospitalized after a second tumor in her abdomen ruptured. Although surgery was performed, her body was too frail to recover. On December 23, 1998, she passed away at the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York at the age of 30. Her former boyfriend, Malcolm Jamal Warner, was by her side during her final hours. Michelle Thomas left the world while her career was still ascending, with an estimated net worth of about $4 million, mainly from acting, commercial work, and unfinished music projects. Per her wishes, her funeral was conducted according to Islamic rites, and she was buried in New Jersey. Merlin Santana as Stanley. Merlin Santana was born on March 14, 1976 in Washington Heights, New York. He was a Dominican-American actor who captivated audiences when he was 15 years old with his role as Stanley, the confident and sweet boyfriend of Rudy Huxtable in The Cosby Show.
Is that the dude? I think that's the dude that shot out the window in Boys in the Hood or something. It just hit me, man, because it's like I can see the resemblance. Okay, let's see. Oh, man. Oh, my God, young. I think that's him. Death at 26. Okay.
Unfinished music projects. Per her wishes, her funeral was conducted according to Islamic rites, and she was buried in New Jersey. Merlin Santana as Stanley. Merlin Santana was born on March 14, 1976 in Washington Heights, New York. He was a Dominican-American actor who captivated audiences when he was 15 years old with his role as Stanley, the confident and sweet boyfriend of Rudy Huxtable in The Cosby Show. With his handsome looks and magnetic presence, Merlin quickly became a teen idol of the 1990s, appearing in hit sitcoms like Moshe, The Steve Harvey Show, and Getting By. But off-screen, Merlin's life was shrouded in darkness no one could have expected. As he grew older, he struggled to break free from his pretty boy image and sought out more meaningful, complex roles. Yet Hollywood at the time remained obsessed with stereotypes. Frustrated, he publicly criticized the industry for its racial bias and lack of opportunities for Latino and Black actors, a stance that led many producers to turn their backs on him. Career challenges pushed Merlin toward dangerous choices. He began hanging out with the wrong crowd, engaging in nightlife activities, and involving himself in shady business ventures. Family members grew concerned as they saw him drifting away from acting and frequently skipping auditions. Fame had come too early, without the safety net to guide him, leaving him lost between the glow of the spotlight and harsh reality. Tragedy struck on the night of November 9, 2002. While sitting in a car with his friend, actor Brandon Adams, Merlin was fatally shot in the head by 19-year-old Damian Andre Gates, who had been misled by his 15-year-old girlfriend's false claim that Merlin had made advances toward her. Damn. Police later revealed the girl had fabricated the entire story. Merlin never had a chance to defend himself or speak the truth. The bullet fired from behind pierced the front seat and ended his life instantly. He died at the age of 26, leaving behind a daughter, Melinda, and a devastated family. His funeral was held in the Bronx, and he was laid to rest at St. Raymond's Cemetery. Merlin's net worth at the time of his death was estimated at around $1 million, mostly earned from sitcom and television roles.
That's not the guy. That's not the guy from Boys in the Hood. I don't know what made me think that they was together, man.
Merlin's net worth at the time of his death was estimated at around $1 million, mostly earned from sitcom and television roles. Lena Horne as herself. Lena Mary Calhoun Horne was born on June 30, 1917. In 1985, when she was 68 years old, she appeared on The Cosby Show as herself, bringing all the glamour, grace, and class of a living legend. But behind the stage lights, Lena's life was a journey filled with loss, tension, and silent wounds. Lena first stepped into the spotlight at age 16 at the Cotton Club. However, in Hollywood, she was repeatedly limited to minor singing roles, never offered lead parts because of her skin color.
Wow.
Scenes featuring her were often cut in segregated states to allow the films to be released. Forced to smile while singing beside a column, Lena eventually grew weary of merely decorating films in which she was never the centerpiece. She shifted toward the stage and nightclubs, where her voice could finally be fully heard. Her personal life was no less complicated. Her first marriage ended quickly, leaving her with 2 children, one of whom later died from kidney disease, a loss she never fully recovered from. Her relationship with Lenny Hayton, a white music conductor whom she secretly married in Paris, also came with years of pressure. They quietly separated due to the intense racial scrutiny of the time. Lena once openly admitted she married him to break racial barriers, only to later fall in love with him for real. Lena also battled depression, especially after the deaths of her father and her son. She confessed to living with prolonged guilt, feeling powerless in her quest to change an unjust world as quickly as she wished. Tragically, Lena Horne passed away on May 9, 2010 from congestive heart failure at the age of 92. Her net worth was estimated at around $10 million, a modest sum compared to the profound cultural legacy she left behind for America. Sammy Davis Jr. as Ray Palomino.
Okay.
Sammy Davis Jr. was born on December 8, 1925. When he was 64 years old, he appeared in The Cosby Show as Ray Palomino, exuding the charisma of a Rat Pack icon, a legendary group of talented, hard-living entertainers, including Frank Sinatra. But behind the glitz and glam was a life weighed down by tragedy, conflict, and darkness that followed him to the very end. Sammy began performing at age 3 with his father and godfather in the Will Maston Trio. Despite his talent, he couldn't escape the harsh realities of racism, performing for white soldiers in the military while being denied lodging at the very venues he entertained. A 1954 car accident cost him his left eye, turning him into a one-eyed black Jewish man, 3 flaws, as he joked, that became lifelong burdens. His life was a cascade of public shocks, marrying white actress Mae Britt during a time when interracial marriage was banned in over 20 U.S. states, being threatened by the mafia over his relationship with Kim Novak, and throwing wild parties with women, drugs, and even rituals tied to the Church of Satan. As fame soared, Sammy lost himself in gambling, alcohol, and cocaine, burning through his wealth, his reputation, and his relationships. His final wife, Altavis, was once forced to share their mansion with one of his mistresses. His children gradually grew distant. The family he so often sang about became the very thing he lost. Toward the end of his life, Sammy was diagnosed with throat cancer. A 4-pack-a-day smoker, he refused surgery that would remove his voice box, fearing he'd lose his voice. When the cancer returned, he had no choice. His voice disappeared. The stage lights dimmed. On May 16, 1990, Sammy Davis Jr. passed away at his Beverly Hills home at the age of 64. He left behind a net worth of $4 million, but owed over $7 million to the IRS due to years of unpaid taxes. His widow was forced to auction off all his possessions, from his home to iconic memorabilia, to pay the debt of a fallen legend. Dizzy Gillespie as Mr. Hampton. Dizzy Gillespie was born on October 21, 1917. When he was 67 years old, he appeared on The Cosby Show as Mr. Hampton, bringing the vibrant spirit of jazz with his signature bent trumpet and cheerful beret, delighting audiences and leaving a lasting impression. Though his appearance was brief, his essence, brilliant, witty, and full of life, breathed fresh air into the Huxtable household. Dizzy's artistic journey wasn't just glitter and applause, but also a tale of hardship and resilience. A 1954 accident left him blind in one eye, but it also led to the iconic upward bent trumpet that symbolized his bold and unyielding spirit. His rocky marriage, extramarital affairs, and partying habits, including substance abuse, often left him emotionally unstable and spiraling. Illness began to haunt Dizzy in the late 1980s, pancreatic cancer that gnawed at him while he continued to perform through the pain. Each concert became a battle between passion and mortality. He stopped touring after his final performance in December 1991, but still managed to record one last piece in January 1992. Dizzy Gillespie passed away on January 6, 1993, from pancreatic cancer, at the age of 75. He was buried at Flushing Cemetery in Queens. Before his death, Dizzy had amassed a net worth of $5 million, mostly from global tours, royalties, and his TV appearances. Though substantial, he often used his wealth to support younger artists, proving that for Dizzy, music was not just a passion, but a mission to pass the torch to the next generation. Joe Williams as Al Hanks. Joe Williams, born Joseph Gorreed, was born on December 12, 1918. When he was 67 years old, he portrayed Al Hanks, a jazz club owner and the father of Claire Huxtable in The Cosby Show. Although he appeared in only 3 episodes, he left a lasting impression with his warm baritone voice, dignified presence, and unwavering passion for music in every scene. Behind his shining career, however, lay a life full of hidden struggles. Joe was once the golden voice of the Count Basie Orchestra, celebrated worldwide for the classic recording Every Day I Have the Blues. But fame soon faded under the weight of internal battles. In the 1960s, he sank into a deep depression so severe he underwent electroshock therapy, a controversial treatment at the time. The psychological wounds lingered, making him distant and often argumentative with younger musicians, criticizing their attitude or skills. Once a sought-after star at festivals and grand stages, Williams later found himself performing in small lounges and clubs in Las Vegas to make a living. Though he remained active, he became quieter and more withdrawn, avoiding media attention. Never married and without children, he lived nearly in isolation. Many believed that, in the end, he chose a life free from attachments to hide the pain that was never truly healed. In his final years, he still made appearances at festivals and even performed on cruise ships, though his health was in decline. On March 29, 1999, Joe Williams passed away in Las Vegas after a week of treatment for respiratory illness. He died at the age of 80. His net worth at the time was estimated to be around $3 million, mostly from music royalties, long-running tours, and a legacy built over 6 decades. Roscoe Lee Brown as Dr. Barnabas Foster. Roscoe Lee Brown was born on May 2, 1922, in Woodbury, New Jersey. When he was 64 years old, he appeared on The Cosby Show as Dr. Barnabas Foster, a wise professor with a calm, intellectual, and authoritative demeanor. Although he appeared in just one episode in 1986, he captivated audiences with his velvety deep voice. Yet behind that celebrated voice was a strangely private life. He never married, had no children, and consistently avoided speaking about his personal affairs. Rumors about his sexuality, romantic preferences, or personal past only reinforced the perception of him as a lonely fortress, as many colleagues described him. Despite his fame, Hollywood often denied him leading roles, claiming he was too intellectual for a black man. These silent rejections left deep scars, making him appear cold and distant, though he longed for recognition. He had no shortage of success, an Emmy win, a Tony nomination, but Brown was never seen as a star in the commercial sense. He chose meaningful performances on stage over crowds in the street, especially during the height of the civil rights movement. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at around $2 million, primarily from stage work, television, and voiceover contracts.
Damn.
On April 11, 2007, Roscoe Lee Brown passed away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles after a battle with stomach cancer. He was 84 years old. He died quietly, just as he had lived. Elaine Stritch as Mrs. McGee. Elaine Stritch was born on February 2, 1925, in Detroit, Michigan. She appeared on The Cosby Show when she was 62 years old, playing Mrs. McGee, a quirky yet sharp elderly woman who brought both laughter and reflection in an episode aired in the late 1980s. Though the role was brief, it was a unique slice in the long career of a seasoned performer known for her fiery personality and shockingly blunt demeanor. Stritch was more than an actress. She was a Broadway icon, renowned for her bold performances in Company and A Delicate Balance. But behind the spotlight was a soul in conflict. For decades, she battled severe alcoholism, once even performing drunk on stage. Her career was often derailed by her abrasive nature and impulsive outbursts, making both colleagues and producers tread carefully around her. Her love life was equally filled with regret. She married only once, at age 47, to British actor John Bay, whom she called the only love of my life. But that happiness was short-lived. He died of cancer just 10 years later, leaving her in a deep and enduring loneliness. Since then, Stritch lived alone at the famed Carlisle Hotel in New York, where she hosted one-woman shows that mixed bitter humor with raw truth. In her final year, Elaine was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a rare condition in the elderly that severely weakened her health. Still, she kept performing almost into her 90s. Her net worth at the time of her death was estimated at around $20 million, largely from her hit stage shows and television deals, including 30 Rock, where she played Alec Baldwin's mother. Elaine Stritch died on July 17, 2014, at the age of 89, at her home in Birmingham, Michigan. With no children and no elaborate funeral, people still gathered outside Broadway theaters that day to honor her. Lou Myers as Mr. Davis. Lou Myers was born on September 26, 1935, in Chesapeake, West Virginia. He appeared on The Cosby Show in 1987 when he was 52 years old, playing Mr. Davis, a quirky, witty supporting character whose presence reflected Myers's sharp and spontaneous acting style. Though he appeared in only one episode, the role was part of a series of grumpy old man portrayals he became known for, especially as Mr. Gaines in A Different World. Born into a working-class family, the son of a German-speaking coal miner and a strict mother, Myers joined the U.S. Air Force early on. He later graduated college and earned a master's degree in theater from New York University, building a career on Broadway through powerful August Wilson plays like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Fences, and The Piano Lesson. But his life off stage was chaotic. Known for his volatile temper, he often walked out mid-performance and once publicly berated a director, earning him a reputation for being difficult to work with. His only marriage ended in the late 1990s after years of tension and allegations of emotional abuse, control, and broken trust. As his film career began to decline, Myers turned to alcohol. He was arrested twice for public intoxication and once for an altercation with a theater critic, though that charge was later dropped. Once a sought-after artist, Myers slipped into prolonged depression, withdrew socially, and only occasionally appeared at poetry readings or small theater events. Still, he remained devoted to the arts, founding the Chaka Ensemble Players in Africa and continuing with independent performances. In his final years, Myers lived simply, rarely active in the industry. His net worth was estimated at around $1 million, mainly from royalties from old TV roles and theater earnings during his prime. His health deteriorated due to untreated hypertension and chronic lung disease. On February 19, 2013, Lou Myers died of heart failure in Charleston, West Virginia, after months battling pneumonia. He was 77 years old. With no wife and no children, he passed away quietly. Moses Gunn as Dr. Lotus. Moses Gunn was born on October 2, 1929, and became familiar to television audiences when he appeared on The Cosby Show in 1989 when he was 60 years old, as Dr. Lotus, a calm, gentle, and deeply empathetic man. Though he only appeared once, the character was a mirror of the profound inner world of an artist who had experienced both the glow of fame and the darkness of life. Born into a poor family in Missouri, Gunn lost his mother early on and was one of 7 children. After his family tragedy, he became homeless at age 12, wandering and riding trains as a street kid. Strict demeanor, and frequent outbursts, he was beloved for his dedication and high artistic standards. Gunn married Gwendolyn Mama Landis and had one son, Justin, who later became a musician based in Copenhagen. His family brought him a measure of peace amid the chaos of an artist's life. On December 16, 1993, Moses Gunn passed away at age 64 due to complications from asthma in Connecticut. At the time of his passing, his net worth was estimated at approximately $1 million, mostly from royalties in film and theater. Lynn Thigpen as Mrs. Hudson. Sherlyn Teresa Thigpen, also known as Lynn Thigpen, was born on December 22, 1948, in Joliet, Illinois. When she was 43 years old, she appeared on The Cosby Show as Mrs. Hudson, a patient, nurturing, and compassionate woman. Though she appeared in just one episode in 1991, the role reflected who Lynn truly was, gentle, yet always carrying unspoken burdens. Lynn began her career on Broadway with the musical Godspell, then rose to fame portraying the chief of ACME in the educational series Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? But behind the sharp, confident image on screen was a quiet war against racial bias. Lynn was frequently denied leading roles because of her skin color, and she was labeled difficult to work with for pushing back against stereotypical roles written for black women. Her honesty and resistance to typecasting isolated her in a deeply conservative industry. At age 30, Lynn suffered a miscarriage after years of hoping for a child, a pain she never shared publicly, though close friends confirmed it led her into a prolonged depression. She threw herself into work as a form of escape, from television to film, and voiceover roles in dozens of audiobooks and video games. Still, despite her relentless work ethic, she lived alone, never married, no children. The pressure of her career, personal losses, and a chronic illness she kept private gradually took a toll on her health. She reportedly suffered from persistent headaches before collapsing from a brain hemorrhage at her home in Marina del Rey, California, on March 12, 2003. She was just 54 years old. Officials confirmed her cause of death as spontaneous intraventricular hemorrhage with acute cardiac arrhythmia, a shock to those who saw her as an invincible screen presence. At the time of her passing, Lynn Thigpen had accumulated a net worth of about $3 million, mainly from her work in theater, television, and voice acting. The journey of The Cosby Show was not just filled with laughter, it carried tears behind the spotlight. These stars, though gone, continue to live on in our hearts. Which character touched you the most, and which story moved you the deepest? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe as we continue exploring unforgettable moments in television history.
Wow. She was on what's the name of the damn? I have it. They called him Batman. East Side High. Remember that it was a movie where the black man turned the high school around. East Side. They had to sing the song on demand. I can't, y'all know Uncle Mike, man. Y'all gotta pray for me. East Side. And then the music teacher changed the school song and made it more hip. And she was one of the ladies with her nasty attitude. That's how you can tell somebody can really, really act. She had a nasty attitude trying to get him out. And yeah, she played that part. That's what I known her from. I known her from that. But I ain't think I don't remember seeing her on the Cosby Show, and I watched that thing to death. Anyway, man, there's a lot of people that was on the Cosby Show that, okay, they just so happened to be on the Cosby Show, but they passed away also. You know, die of accession, death by aura. Can't say the word. Anyway, man, I thought that was kind of interesting, so I'm hoping that please share, like, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Rest in peace to Jamal. When I saw this, 9 people passed away. I thought it was more the people that was normal, regular people on there, you know. So, hey, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.